If you move, you are getting dog bit. Do you understand me?
Hello and welcome back. In the past decade, misconduct by law enforcement has gotten its rightful share of backlash and publicity. At the same time, however, it's virtually forgotten just how often citizens commit unnecessary violence against officers, for no reason at all besides the fact that they're in uniform. The case we're covering today shows one such instance of senseless aggression as a crazed man attempts to take the lives of two officers before leading them on a chase through Orlando, Florida. We'd like to thank WKMG News 6 Click Orlando for providing us with this footage. You can view the unedited version of the clip over on their channel. If you like this video, go give the unedited version a view and a like as well. May 25th, 2022, approximately 8 p.m. A pair of officers are in an unmarked Ford, driving on Rose Avenue and approaching the intersection of Jim Glenn Drive. As they reach the crossway and yield to the stop sign, the vehicle that's about to roll past them on Jim Glenn catches their attention. This particular vehicle was recently reported stolen by a complainant in Jacksonville. By coincidence, the officers had stumbled across the stolen car and the suspect. But the driver was already onto them, and he had no intention of going peacefully. Just as the stolen vehicle is almost directly in front of the officer's car, the unknown driver very suddenly whips out a handgun. Giving the officers no time to react, the suspect fires almost a dozen rounds into the unmarked vehicle. At the sounds of the shots hitting their car, both agents quickly duck down into their seats. The officer in the passenger seat returns fire, shooting through his window at the vehicle, but the assailant speeds away and out of sight. The officers, thankfully both unharmed, exit and inspect the vehicle, which has several bullets lodged in its front and side. Among the damage were two holes through the front windshield, immediately to the right of the driver's seat. Just an inch or two to the left, and the driver would have been hit by both shots.
Try to get in front of it and get 6 then up.
I ducked in toward you.
Yeah, he's on it.
I made myself small and I went towards my seatbelt. Just started laying out.
Dude,
This is him.
I feel like it went through my, by my ear, dude.
Yeah.
The officer in the driver's seat even describes feeling a bullet fly past his ear. While the officers stay at the scene and wait for backup, they instruct other officers to pursue the vehicle, and the chase begins. Not long after the shooting, however, the suspect, 36-year-old William Bullock, abandons the car and attempts to evade the officers on foot. Officers chase him down into a populated neighborhood full of vegetation, properties, and all sorts of nooks to hide in. After what just happened, these officers are not keen on letting the suspect get away. After all, they do have countermeasures for situations just like this, i.e., the dogs.
Winter Gardens, 1012.
Hey, Crime Center, can you make sure, at least with some OPD, that we have this whole area locked down? We need to have
Somebody thinks they're
several houses to the south and north covered, as well as east. Ridgefield.
Which way are you facing? Is this west? Which way is westbound? You're pointing that way?
Guys, it's coming to you. If you're west of this, make sure you have cover and chat.
Our suspect is clearly armed and very dangerous, and as long as he's on the streets, he's a grave threat to every bystander and officer out there.
We need you guys to stay here, though. Don't let everybody run off.
Trade 9 to 7 yet?
Here. Up. Boy.
Cautiously crossfire when we make contact.
Watch your legs. I can't let go of my dog. Come here. Come here.
Stage, from what I can see, he's prone down with his hands forward.
Why are you pointing me to this yard?
Head facing south.
Oh, I just got it.
Canine's coming in. Yeah, I hear you, Sarge. I hear you. I see them.
you got a lot of concentrated when you break that, so just a heads up between you and the back.
10-4, thank you. Alright, behind you with the dog, guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go through the other side of the fence.
That backyard? Alright.
Roll to us.
He's got a fence between them. We need to go. John, what direction is this in front of me?
To the east.
Address to the east of 803 Ridgefield. There's a fence between us and him. He's proned out in that backyard. Grab Dozer and go in for him.
Yeah, the address to the east is 802 Sullivan. 802 Sullivan. Guys who are one street to the east of us just realized there's going to be cops going into the backyard.
Let me go.
Alright, I need chasing.
Can we get into that backyard right here?
If you come into 802 Sullivan, the breakout canines stay south. They're all in the northwest corner.
Let me get into that backyard. Sides.
Is there a house on the Ridgefield?
You gotta be in the house to your left, guys, with the dog.
Or do I need to go back over to your side?
Here. Here.
Pretty sure, Mickey.
Break it if you need to.
Yeah, 18. If you just stay on Center Street where the open fence panel is,
Get in there
that's a
somehow. I
breakout
don't
in
care if you
between
need to
the two houses that are north of the target.
Okay. I want you to get that gate open in case he gets up and runs.
You may be wondering if the officers really have the authority to break the civilian's gate down in order to get to the suspect. And the short answer is yes. 1976 Supreme Court case Santana v. United States produced what's referred to as the hot pursuit doctrine. This doctrine declares that officers may enter private property without a warrant while in active pursuit of an individual as long as the chase initially began on public property and the officers have reason to believe that the suspect has committed a crime. This privilege must be exercised with discretion, however, as warrantless entry in pursuit of simple misdemeanor criminals has resulted in penalties and evidence becoming inadmissible in the past. Courts would likely argue in this case that the magnitude of Mr. Bullock's crimes, which easily constitute attempted murder, in addition to the active threat that he poses to the community, is great enough reason for the officers to take the necessary steps to detain him.
Here, don't worry about that if we're gonna go around. Here.
Sorry, guys,
we're going this way. Just hold this.
I'm seeing the subject between the fence and the same yard as you at 803, prone out, facing south.
Now we've got eyes on, just trying to get to him on the east side.
Guys, let the dog go through first, please.
Okay, you need me to walk them in on the east, the next yard east?
Here, leave it. Excuse me, let me get out.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Sullivan, and we're gonna walk in there.
Coming with you. John, stay where you are. I'm gonna go to that backyard.
Alright, that's 802 Sullivan. Hey, everybody that's on the north side of 802 Sullivan, keep going south. You're in the crossfire of the other unit straight down the fence line.
The person giving officers directions here is likely the pilot of a police helicopter, one of the force's most useful and effective tools for apprehending fleeing suspects. Police aviation units are comprised of licensed professionals with years of experience in law enforcement, thousands of mandatory flight hours, and months of specialized training. Moreover, most police helicopters feature a very special piece of equipment, an infrared camera capable of detecting body heat. This means, from the sky, pilots can clearly spy a suspect that is hiding amongst foliage or debris, as well as track their movements. The only caveat is that these cameras cannot see through solid objects such as walls or roofs, so the suspect must be outside in order to be picked up by the heat radar.
That was John in that yard, right?
Yeah. Okay. He's on the south side of the house anyhow.
Keep going. Come on.
John, can you get him to you?
802 right here.
No, I'm trying to find a way over there, but I'm just going to hold north right now until Liz gets over there.
Yeah, we're at 802 Sullivan now. Making a train to the backyard.
Alright, yeah, Yeah, follow between the pool and that shed. She's coming up on the angle. You guys watch her crossfire. They're coming up on the south to the north on the other side of the fence.
Get coverage on him, please. If you move, you are getting dog bit. Do you understand me?
Crawl.
Crawl? Nope.
Everybody on the west 803, back up a little bit to the south so you're not in the crossfire.
Crawl to me. Do not reach for anything. Keep your hands in front of you while you're crawling.
You understand? Crawl, don't
Crawl.
stand up.
On your stomach. Army crawl. Good boy. You go anywhere else but towards me, you're getting dog bit. Good. Good boy. Get with my hair, Sarge. Yes, Sarge. Sarge, I got it. I'll stay with you.
You need to come through and pop off the fence now for you?
Keep coming.
Stand by, they're giving to me.
Yep. Good boy.
coming, boss.
Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Hands go in, please.
Hands right back. Hands right back. Put your hands behind your back.
Alright, they're going hands on the floor right now.
Good.
Now the question is where's he going?
Yeah. Where's the gun? Hey, make sure it's not in his pocket. Yeah, I got it. There you go. Good job, guys. Here.
1815. Good job by everybody.
After transporting him to jail, officers discovered that the assailant has a criminal history dating back almost 2 decades, beginning when Mr. Bullock was a teenager. He also had an active warrant out for his arrest for having skipped court. William Bullock was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, fleeing from a law enforcement officer, shooting into an occupied vehicle, and attempted first-degree murder of an officer.